There comes a moment in life when everything feels like it's falling apart. You question your worth. You feel abandoned by people you once trusted. The ground beneath you doesn't feel steady, and the noise in your mind refuses to quiet down. In those moments, it's easy to believe that the world is against you, that nothing and no one is coming to save you. But that's where the truth gets louder than the pain. Nothing can hurt you when God decides to save you. Not the betrayal, not the rejection, not the heartbreak, not even your own mistakes. There is a grace that finds you when you are shattered. And in that grace, there's healing, there's light. There's an invisible embrace reminding you that even when you feel completely alone, you are being carried through it all. Sometimes the saving doesn't come with fireworks. Sometimes it comes in the form of a closed door, a sleepless night, a friend who says the right thing at the right time. Sometimes the saving is slow, quiet, imperceptible, but it's there. And you begin to see that what you thought was the end was actually the beginning. The moment you start to feel safe, not because your circumstances have changed, but because you realize you are being held by something greater than your suffering. That's when the pain loses its power. That's when you know nothing can truly hurt you when the divine decides your story isn't over. There's a silence that comes after your world falls apart. The kind of silence that makes you question if anyone sees you, hears you, or even cares. It's in that silence where doubt creeps in the loudest. You start to wonder if maybe this is just how the story ends for you, tired, unseen, overwhelmed. Everything you thought you could hold onto slips through your fingers. The job, the relationship, the sense of who you thought you were, it all begins to unravel, and the scariest part, you can't stop it. No matter how hard you try, the breakdown keeps happening. But here's the truth most people don't tell you. The breakdown isn't a sign that you failed. It's not evidence that you're weak or lost. It's actually a sacred threshold. Something deeper is shifting inside you. Yes, it's messy, it's painful, but something is being born through that collapse. The identity you clung to so tightly, maybe it was never truly yours. The life you thought you had to keep holding together, maybe it wasn't big enough for the person you're becoming. What if the pain isn't punishment, but preparation? No one tells you that breakdowns have a strange kind of beauty to them. The kind that reveals everything false and leaves behind only what's real. You start to see how much of your life was built on fear, on pleasing others, on trying to control things that were never meant to be yours. When it all falls away, you're left raw, vulnerable, exposed, but also free, because now there's nothing to pretend, nothing to hide behind, and that's where the breakthrough begins. Not in a moment of triumph, but in the fragile breath you take when you say, I can't do this alone anymore. It doesn't matter how strong you are, rejection stings. Whether it's being ghosted, passed over, or told you're not enough, it has a way of cutting into the most tender parts of you. You start replaying every word, every choice, trying to make sense of why you weren't chosen. You question your value. You convince yourself you're too much, or maybe not enough. And in that emotional spiral, it feels like everything is falling apart. But rejection isn't always meant to destroy you. Sometimes it's the universe's way of closing a door that was never meant for you in the first place. What feels like loss is often a redirection, a divine rerouting to something that actually aligns with your purpose, your growth, your peace. You may not see it now, but that no could be the loudest yes to your future. That closed door might be protecting you from years of silent suffering. That person walking away might be making space for someone who will love you without conditions. We often attach our identity to things that were never meant to define us. A job, a relationship, a dream we outgrew but held onto out of fear. So when those things fall away, it feels like we've failed. But in truth, we're being freed. Rejection peels away illusions. It invites us to stop begging for crumbs and start asking, what do I truly deserve? You were never meant to shrink to fit places that didn't see your worth. You were never meant to chase love that felt like a test. Rejection is hard, but it's not ruin. It's the divine saying, not this, my child, not here, not like this. I have more for you. And maybe that no wasn't the end. It was the first step toward everything you've ever prayed for. There are moments when the weight of it all is just too much. The strength you wear like armor begins to crack, and before you know it, the tears come. Sometimes quietly, sometimes uncontrollably. And in a world that tells you to be strong, to keep it together, to never let them see you break, crying can feel like failure, like weakness, like shame. You wipe your face, apologize for your emotion, and pretend you're okay because that's what you think strength is supposed to look like. But what if your tears were never meant to be hidden? What if they're not a sign of weakness, but sacred proof that you felt deeply, loved fully, and survived silently. Your tears are not wasted, they are not forgotten. They're not dismissed by the divine. Each one is a witness to your courage, to your endurance, to your soul's resilience. They tell the story of a heart that refused to harden, a heart that stayed tender even when it was breaking. Tears carry truth. They hold the grief you never voiced, the disappointment you couldn't explain, the fear that's been living in your chest for years. And when they fall, something sacred happens. The pain that had no name begins to release. It's not weakness, it's washing. It's not surrender, it's surrendering to healing. You don't need to hold everything in to prove you're strong. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is break open. And here's what's even more beautiful. In every tear that falls, there is a quiet promise that you're being seen. Not by the world that judges you for feeling too much, but by the one who created every emotion in you. Your tears are being counted, not ignored. They are sacred, and in time, they become seeds of wisdom, of compassion, of a future where you no longer have to pretend you're unbreakable to be loved. There are certain goodbyes that feel like they might destroy you. The silence after someone walks away, the emptiness when a chapter closes before you're ready, the ache of watching something you loved slowly slip through your fingers. We are taught to fear loss, to resist it, to grieve it, to see it as something gone wrong. But not every loss is meant to break you. Some losses are actually sacred releases. Not everything you lose is a wound. Sometimes it's your wings finally unfolding. We don't always recognize freedom when it first arrives. Sometimes it looks like heartbreak. Sometimes it feels like confusion. But beneath that pain is a deeper wisdom gently peeling away what no longer fits. Old roles, old beliefs, old versions of yourself that kept you safe but small. The things you lost may have served a season, but that doesn't mean they were meant to last forever. And it's okay to miss them and still let them go. Because maybe that person who left wasn't meant to walk with you into your next chapter. Maybe that opportunity that slipped away was protecting you from a life that would have drained your spirit. What if the thing you're mourning was never meant to define you? What if it was only meant to prepare you? Letting go is not giving up. It's giving in to the truth that there's more ahead than behind. You don't have to keep dragging what's already fallen apart. There is strength in surrender. There is power in trust. And there is beauty in knowing that every time something is taken, there's also something being made. Space, clarity, breath. Loss is painful, but sometimes it's the very thing that teaches you how to fly. There are seasons when life bruises you in places no one can see. You smile in public and fall apart in private. You go through the motions doing what's expected, while carrying an invisible weight on your chest. Maybe you've been told you're too sensitive, too much, too emotional. Or maybe you've been made to feel like you're not enough, never good enough, strong enough, lovable enough, and so you begin to shrink. You begin to question your worth. You start believing that being broken means being less. But the truth is, your brokenness doesn't disqualify you. It doesn't make you unworthy of love or respect or belonging. You are not a project to be fixed. You are a soul that's learning to heal. And that journey, with all its scars and setbacks, doesn't make you less. It makes you real. It makes you human. The world doesn't need perfect people. It needs honest ones. And your honesty, your ability to say, I'm struggling, but I'm still here, is a form of courage that changes everything. You don't have to have it all together to be deserving. You don't need to erase your pain to be accepted. Worthiness isn't earned through perfection. It's inherent. It was placed in you the moment you were created, and nothing can take it away, not your past, not your failures, not the way others have treated you. Even on your darkest days, you are still worthy of compassion, of hope, of being held. So stop waiting to be whole before you believe you are enough. You already are, not despite your broken pieces, but with them. We've been taught to believe that healing looks like progress you can post about, that it comes with dramatic changes, sudden clarity, or a triumphant comeback. But real healing rarely looks like that. It doesn't always come with applause or a turning point that makes everything make sense. Sometimes healing is quiet. Sometimes it's lonely. Sometimes it's found in the smallest of choices, the ones no one sees but you. It's choosing to get out of bed even when your heart feels heavy. It's deciding not to respond to the person who hurt you, even though you want to scream. It's saying no when people expect you to say yes, because your peace is finally becoming more important than their approval. Healing is found in the long, slow process of unlearning how to abandon yourself. It's in sitting with your feelings instead of running from them. It's in forgiving yourself for all the times you didn't know better, because now you do. There's something sacred about the stillness healing requires. It forces you to stop performing, stop proving, stop pleasing. It invites you to listen to your body, to your heart, to that soft voice within that's been trying to reach you. And in that silence, you begin to rebuild trust with yourself. The kind of trust that says, I can feel this and still be okay. You won't always notice the healing while it's happening. Some days you'll still feel broken. Some days you'll take steps backward, but that doesn't mean you've failed. Healing doesn't follow a straight line. It ebbs, it flows, it pauses, and that's okay, because even in the stillness, even in the quiet, you are moving forward. You are becoming whole again, gently, patiently, beautifully. There's a kind of loneliness that runs deeper than being alone. It's the ache of feeling invisible in a world that moves too fast to notice your quiet struggle. You show up, you smile, you do what's expected, but inside you wonder if anyone truly sees you. The real you, the one behind the brave face. And in those moments, it's easy to believe the lie that you've been forgotten. That you're too much to carry or not enough to keep. But just because people haven't noticed your pain doesn't mean you're alone in it. Just because your phone is silent or your efforts go unacknowledged doesn't mean you aren't held. You may feel unseen by the world, but you are never unseen by the divine. There's a presence that walks with you even when no one else does. A love that holds space for your grief, your weariness, your silence. You don't have to earn this kind of love. It doesn't walk away when you're messy or broken or uncertain. It stays, it surrounds, it holds. You might not feel it in the loud moments of life, but you can often find it in the still ones. In the quiet of an early morning, in a breath you didn't think you had the strength to take, in a moment of peace that finds you unexpectedly. That's not coincidence. That's comfort, that's being held. The world may forget birthdays. People may not return messages. Loved ones may not show up the way you hoped. But there is a deeper truth. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are not too much. There is a strength greater than yours holding you up, even when you're too tired to keep trying. And that's enough to take one more step forward. When you're caught in the storm, it feels like the winds will never stop howling. The rain is relentless. The waves keep crashing, and the thunder drowns out your thoughts. In the midst of all that chaos, it's easy to believe that you're going to be consumed by it. That the storm is too strong, too overwhelming, too powerful for you to survive. You look around and wonder where the rescue is. You wonder if you'll ever find solid ground again. But here's the truth that will steady you. When God decides to save you, nothing, not even the fiercest storm, can swallow you whole. It doesn't matter how violent the winds blow or how dark the sky gets. When the divine steps into your story, you are not alone in the battle. You are not left to fight by your own strength. You are being carried, shielded, held. And even when you feel like you're sinking, you're not. You are being anchored by something far stronger than any fear or obstacle. This isn't just about surviving the storm, it's about understanding that you are designed to withstand it. The storm is not your end. It's an invitation to discover the depth of your resilience. You may bend under the pressure, but you won't break. You may feel the weight, but you won't drown. The divine doesn't pull you through just to leave you empty-handed. It pulls you through to show you that you are capable of withstanding far more than you ever realized. The storm may rage on, but it will never have the final say. When God decides to save you, He doesn't abandon you in the middle of your struggle. He strengthens you, molds you, and transforms you. No matter how hard the rain falls, no matter how loud the thunder roars, when God is on your side, you will always find a way through. You are safe even in the storm. In every moment of struggle, when you feel lost, broken, or unseen, remember this truth: you are held. You are worthy. You are not defined by the storms you face, but by the strength you summon to rise again. Healing doesn't happen in loud, dramatic moments. It happens in the quiet choices to keep going when you don't think you can. You are a witness to your own resilience, your own journey of becoming. Every tear, every loss, every rejection. None of it is wasted. It all serves as the groundwork for your transformation. When God decides to save you, no fear can paralyze you, no heartache can consume you. Even when you feel forgotten, even when the weight of it all feels too much to bear, you are never truly alone. The love that created you holds you steady, guides you through, and whispers in your ear, "You are mine, and I will never leave you." So stand tall, even in your vulnerability. Trust that every step forward, even the small ones, are part of the divine story being written for you. Your healing is already in motion, and you are already becoming who you were always meant to be. The journey isn't over yet. It's only just beginning. And with every new dawn, you are being saved, reshaped, and lifted towards something beautiful.